Hello, I hope all is well. So 99 Magic, there it is, it's finally here. That has been a long time in the making, but now that I've got it, I feel that I am somewhat qualified to talk about a 1 to 99 Magic guide. Now, I will say, I'm not going to be able to cover every method that is out there. There's certainly things that I won't touch on that are still good training methods. I'm just going to kind of cover some of the things that I use, as well as include some of the general experience rates that you can expect to get when training with some of these methods. Now, I want to show a couple of the important pieces that you'll need or you'll want for training. I'm not going to go into detail with all the different sets that are out there, such as Elder Chaos, Mystic, Arams, and whatnot. If you have questions about those, you can go ahead and ask them in the comments, and I will try to respond to those. Otherwise, you can just check out the RuneScape wiki. It has a lot of good information on that. But starting out, looking at some of the basic non-set related pieces that you'll want. You want to get the Magic Arena Cape at level 60 Magic. That is the best in slot for you until you get to 75 and can do Mage Arena 2. Then you'll get the Imbued Magic Cape. You also want a Smoke Battle Staff. That takes, I believe, 30 Magic and 30 Attack. Provides a 10% damage boost and also unlimited air and fire runes. Extremely helpful in saving runes, elemental runes. The Occult Necklace is really good. Level 70 Magic is needed, but it provides another 10% Magic bonus. Seer's Ring is the only Mage boosting item, I believe, in the ring slot. +4 or +8 if you have it imbued with Nightmare Zone points. And then Wizard Boots are the best in slot 1 defense boots that you can have. Alright, so moving on to the training. At level 1, you'll want to get yourself an air staff and some mine runes, as well as some waters, earths, and fires. Beginning at level 1, you'll want to find a low-level monster such as a man, chicken, cow, or goblin, something like that. Begin casting Wind Strike at level 1. At level 5, you can move to Water Strike, 9 Earth Strike, and 13 Fire Strike. Alternatively, if you wish to speed that up just a little bit, you can buy some magic potions on the GE for cheap. And you can actually cast Water Strike at level 1 as they boost your level by 4. So ultimately this isn't going to save you much time in the long run, but if you wish to go for maximum efficiency training starting out, this could be an option for you. Also at level 3 Magic, you could choose to switch over to the body rune spells, Confuse, Weaken, and Curse. If you're going to use these, you'll want to make sure that you have at least -65 Magic bonus so that you don't hit. You can just continue splashing from behind an obstacle. So in order to achieve this is the same you'll need for splashing later on. You want a metal helmet, plate body, plate legs or skirt, and kite shield, as well as dragonhide vambraces. Now if you don't have access to dragonhide vambraces, which require level 40 range, you could choose to emit a staff, and then you would still achieve that -65 without the staff or the vambraces. Now another good training method once you hit level 13 is you can continue on with splashing with Fire Strike for about 14k experience per hour. Now you would want to continue doing that until at least level 25, at which point you could significantly increase your rate of training by moving on to teleporting. You can teleport to Varrock at level 25, Lumbridge at 31, Falador at 37, and then finally Camelot teleport at level 45 Magic. If you choose to go this route for training, it'll take about 3,100 Law Runes and about 3.5 hours to go from level 25 to 55 Magic. Once you hit level 55, your experience rates will really start to take off because you have access to high-level alchemy, which you can pair with Camelot Teleport to gain about 120k experience per hour. So this setup is useful. That's just a really stupid fashion scape I've got on my 10 HP Iron Man here. But an air staff and a tome of fire, or just a smoke battle staff if you have it, to cover both the air and fire runes. What you're going to do here is cast a high level alchemy, and then on the alch animation you'll want to teleport to Camelot. You get 55 experience for the Camelot teleport and 65 for the alch, and you can gain about 120k experience per hour. So this is extremely fast training at level 55 Magic, and you should see your level go up pretty quickly. So next I wanted to talk a little bit about something that likely tends to get overlooked when thinking about places to train magic, and that is just simply doing Slayer with magic. Now the benefit of that is if you have access to the Slayer Helm imbued, then you get that 15% damage boost to go on top of all of the other magic boosts that already exist for you. such as the Tome of Fire that grants 50% damage bonus when using fire spells. You've got another 2% from the Magic God Cape Imbued, 5% from the Tormented Bracelet, 10% from the Occult Necklace, and another 10% if you're using the Smoke Battle Staff. So you're looking at huge damage bonuses, and this can really help you out with Slayer. This is probably not going to be the fastest way to train magic, but it's one of those things that's 2 birds, 1 stone, and if you're looking to kind of gradually level your Slayer, and you're not in a huge hurry to train magic, not like where you're going to have to barrage skeletons in Monkey Madness tunnels or something like this. This is an enjoyable way to play the game, in my opinion. I've always enjoyed doing Slayer and just kind of more casually playing the game like this. That frees you up to watch a movie while you're doing it, or watch YouTube channels or streams, or even play a second account. So I'm going to throw this in there as a good way to train, even though it's not the fastest way out there, but since it is enjoyable and you get that Slayer experience while going, so I think that's something that's worth looking into a little bit. So if you are willing to risk it in the wilderness, lava dragons can be a great option for you due to their weakness to magic as well as their relatively high value drops. I do recommend, if you're going to go up there, taking a low risk setup while still maximizing your offense with things like a Smoke Battle Staff and a Tome of Fire. You will get attacked by scrubs like this quite frequently. The best way to get away is to have the Wilderness Hard Diary complete, as well as 79 magic or 74 with a Summer Pie. You can just run across the agility shortcut to the south. You'd be surprised at the number of PKers that actually do not have this unlocked. If you get attacked by a large team, you're basically screwed anyway, but if it's just 1 or 2 PKers and you have a little bit of food and some brews, you should be able to escape over the shortcut to the south. And killing these guys can really pay off because they do drop Onyx Bolt tips like this pretty frequently, which can really add up in value for you. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about barraging and or bursting. Now, there are a lot of places to do this as a training method. I wanted to focus specifically on the Catacombs of Korend Dust Devils. Now, I know a lot of people consider Necreal to be kind of the meta for barraging. That does require a level 80 Slayer, and it's kind of a high barrier to entry. Dust Devils, on the other hand, only take level 65, and the concept is basically the same, so it's just a matter of getting them stacked up and continuing to cast barrage on your target. So I'm just going to go ahead and show Dust Devils. The nice thing about these is they are even accessible by a lot of Pures, because many Pures get 55 Slayer at some point anyway for the Leaf-Bladed Sword, so it's not that much of a stretch to imagine a Pure getting level 65. I happen to have 65 on my Pure, and this is one of the ways I actually got towards 99 magic. Basically what you're going to do is just use darts to kind of gather them up and get them all under combat with you, and you're going to run back and forth in this little southeast corner until they all stack up, and then you can guarantee that way that your barrage or burst will hit every single one of the targets, and that way you can maximize your experience. Not only that, you'll be able to most of the time kill all of them at the same time, and that way they'll all respawn at roughly the same time interval, and then you'll be able to go ahead and rinse and repeat, starting out with your darts again. Now, the cool thing about these guys is I showed a little bit of the value of my inventory before I went ahead and started this trip. I filled my inventory up and then did a price check afterwards and actually made a profit. So due to the battle staffs and mystic staves they drop, you can actually make a solid profit doing this. So I could not make a video on magic training and call it complete without at least mentioning combat alching down here at Iron and Steel Dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon. This is my personal favorite method of magic training, and I've been doing it for quite a few years down here. It's actually one of the first videos I made when I first started making videos about 2.5 years ago was about this. And I am by no means whatsoever, not at all, listen to me, not suggesting I was one of the first people to put this in a video, because I know for a fact people have been doing this for a decade or more. However, if you watch other people's magic guide videos, which I do from time to time, there are certain things that you see as a staple in every single video, such as Stun-alching, barraging, various lunar spells and such, but I have never in anyone else's video seen somebody talk about this combat alching down here at Iron and Steel Dragons. It's great because you cast a combat spell and cast an alchemy as soon as you see the experience drop, and the aggressiveness of the monster retaliating on you keeps the cycle going. And using Wrath runes on my pure at 95 plus magic, I was gaining upwards of 150k experience per hour. So this is really great experience. You can do it as low as level 55 magic, even using Fire Bolt or Fire Blast, and it's still great experience down here. Next, I wanted to briefly mention Enchanting. I flashed some experience rates up on the screen there. Now those vary a little bit based on how quickly you can click. There's not a whole lot to this. The fastest way to do it is just to make sure that there's one type of bolt in your inventory. And then what you're going to want to do is keep your mouse over this enchant button, and with your other hand spam the 1 key on your keyboard and just click back and forth, and that'll be the fastest way you can go about doing this. People who are faster clickers than me can probably get much higher experience rates, but this is one of the quickest ways to gain magic experience in the game. So if you're looking to gain magic experience quickly and also do so without hit points experience, this may be the way to go for you. Another great magic training method that doesn't provide any hit points experience is Stun-alching. Now in order to do this, you're going to want to have some sort of barrier between you and whatever you're Stun-alching on. These skeletons at the Wilderness Ditch are a good option. Gosh, I remember when there was no Wilderness Ditch. I almost got lured into the wilderness for my whole cash stack, so that's a story for a different day. But the best way to do this is to angle your camera so that you have to move the mouse the least amount of area possible. And what you're going to do is just cast an alch, and then on the alch animation similar to tele-alching, you're going to go ahead and cast a stun on the skeleton. So the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video are some of the lunar spells. I'm not going to cover every single one of them, just some that I've used in the past and that I know to be somewhat useful. These are inaccessible to pures as they require completion of lunar diplomacy, so this is going to be for mains and zerkers only. But the first one is Bake Pie. And this is pretty useful because you gain around 80k magic experience per hour, which is good, not amazing, but you can gain several 100k cooking experience per hour as well, and you should always cook the highest level pie you can because there's no chance of burning them when using the Bake Pie spell. So this is one of the best ways to train cooking in the game, alongside getting a little bit of magic experience as well. Up next is the Spin Flax. Now this gets you about 75k magic as well as 75k crafting experience per hour, which is extremely useful because usually crafting experience costs you money. But this isn't a great money maker. It's probably about 150k per hour, depending on the price of bowstrings in profit. Flax costs basically nothing. But the fact that you can get 75k crafting and magic experience per hour, as well as make a profit, is really pretty good, and this is a somewhat effective way to train both skills, so I thought that was definitely worth a mention. Next is going to be Tan Leather. You can gain around 120k magic experience per hour, along with potential for a very high profit, because the Tan Leather always goes for significantly more than the Dragon Hides. So this is a potentially really good money maker, along with a solid way to gain 120k magic experience per hour. So this is definitely one that is worth doing if you have access to it. And lastly, as far as the Lunar book is concerned, I'm going to talk about plank making, and this can gain you about 162k magic experience per hour, which is really good. The only downfall is it does require a little more clicking than the Tan Leather does, but that's okay. I think it's worth it because you are getting that accelerated experience gains, and you do need coins for this. It is a reduced cost from what the sawmill charges, so this I think can also be a potential money maker for you, as oftentimes I think the logs are pretty cheap. Mahogany logs are pretty cheap, and the planks are always quite expensive, so you can make significant magic experience as well as make a little bit of a profit off this. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. I do hope you found it interesting, and I will see you next time.